Hello Warriors, it is Friday and it's time for your next weekly dose of Wargame Routine Escalation. So it is the Fulda Gap, this interesting map where you have 2 entry points per side, and our blue NATO player, with the most messed up name in history, is Once Over, and our red player, currently ranked number 2 on the ladder, is Komaromi. And Komaromi is actually kind of interesting because, as far as I know, he's the only person in the top 20 who plays both pact and nato. So let's speed this up a bit so we can see what their build-outs will be. Looks like we have Komaromi going to try and take 2 points. I think this, the way it's organized, is heading towards India. And this looks like it's just going to try and turtle a bit. Once Over actually has nothing here, so he's just going to abandon that base. And... oh, okay. I actually see what he's doing. So, he has lots of Marder VTSIs, Marder Roland, Marder VTI, Marder, he has some AMX. So, you know, it's pretty balanced. But when you see this, what you're going to see is Marder VTSI. Now there's a pretty potent cheese where you just get all Marder VTSIs and you just push with it. It's insanely powerful, does lots of damage, and these are really cheap units. So what he's doing is he's kind of mixing these together so that when he sees this coming, he's not going to go like, oh, you know, multiple units. You can say like, oh crap, it's all Marders. And so he's not going to focus fire on the right things. So he does have infantry carriers, he has, you know, anti-air, he has tank damage, all kinds of stuff. But, you know, that's, he's kind of playing on the cheese, if you will. So we have, oh, quite bold. He's actually taken 3 points. Juliet, entry point, Charlie, and he's trying to secure this with lots of infantry. We have anti-air here, but he doesn't really have enough here, because blue is just one side rushing. He still has his base, just sitting at Lima 100% undefended. Well, not 100%, but well, actually that's pretty well defended. So here comes the big push. Now lots of cheap units that, if you lose any of them, they're not really going to be that expensive to replace. Caravan is moving down the road into territory. Here's a little sneaky spot right here. You can just hit him from the side here. Here we go. And he's getting some decent shots off, but the AMXs are stopping. The Chaucer of Hamas are deployed. And it looks like he's going to try and take this wooded position pretty fast. This supply truck is really rushing ahead. The Marders are locking up on these poor Prisrolka Iglas here. That sounds like I'm vomiting trying to pronounce this word, but they're the pact anti-air unit. The Marders are pushing in. These are the non-tank destroyers. We have some tank destroyers here, as well as some tanks. And so infantry vehicles just pushing through. Once again, Komaromi really does not have enough forces here to deal with this. He really needs to pull some of this back to deal with this. So we have an anti-air gun and lots of infantry units, just not going to be able to do much though. We do have the commander arm being pulled from here finally to an attempt at a safe location. The Marders continue to charge in and they have captured the FOB of Komaromi, which is now belonging to Once Over. Once Over, I looked at it as like rank 16, so he's not terribly great, but not terribly bad either. He's, you know, your mid-level player in this game. So I'm kind of interested in what he's going to do with this. I think he's just trying to run it away, but I don't know. So far, you know, Komaromi's done 0 damage, and Once Over is just taken. This FOB is huge. That means all these vehicles, which have, you know, tank destroyers are really fueling efficient. Now they're all refueling and they're moving out. So, position-wise, he is trying to go for this town here. So he might lose the Gazelle. He lost the Gazelle. And that's 80 points. That is an expensive unit. That is one expensive unit. And that pretty much tied up the game, just right there. So he's just kind of clustering his force together. If Komaromi would have gone for some Smirch, SME-RCH, or some Bertino rocket infantry, this tactic would have got rocked so hard. But it didn't. So he's going to split up those forces just so he can, you know, get an idea of where things are. These AMX transports are firing as these guys run into battle, trying to snipe what they can. It looks like he's making a big push with the BTRs, the Scots, all coming in. But there's actually just way too much here, and you can see like one's over racking a lot of points. He's up to 400 versus 1. The Chasseurs are trying to move into this town where it's going to be safe for them. Motorcycles are going down. Motorcycles here also going down. Look at the Marders in the back, pushing over. Already have one over here. Looks like we have a small engagement between one Mi-24A and an AMX 10P, which this is now landed and is now completely vulnerable. Back to the main conflict. The Marders are pushing in, taking no prisoners. The AMXs are getting thwarted though by these motorcycles. The game is starting to get closer and closer. It's now a 400 point layout. It's moving further apart. He's going to take this forest region, no doubt. There's only some tank destroyers in here, and that is it. They are going to do decent damage though. They're not going to go without a fight. That's no doubt. But he's going into 8 tank destroyers against 6. Not quite the fair trade. In the woods here, he has surrendered. He has, you know, retreated a nice few forces just so he can get some easy free hits later on. So moving down here, it looks like there is another flank created for fighting here by once over. He's wiping at these motorcycles, and these Scots are unfortunately to find an unpleasant welcoming party with this AMX 10P and this Chasseur Famas. He can probably overwhelm this though, if you just unload. And he lost one motorcycle there. I see some heads-up action, you know, really awkward. Just, he's on the bushes, he's out in the open. It's pretty much head on, and ooh, looks like he's going to use this motorcycle too. Oh, definitely. Here comes the 2AH 1S Cobras. So blue has definitely secured quite a bit, and looking at the map, it's one base versus one base. Ooh, here's a neat move he did. He put the command armor in here, just so he could spawn more units, and then he pulled it back. And the reason why he pulled it back is he can't really defend it, and he doesn't really, like, this positioning here, it's not going to help. So he's done a pretty big desperation move. He's picked up a lot of helicopters. And this could work because there's not a lot of AA for once over. So we'll fast forward to more action. And it looks like we have a position in the woods here with this flamethrower tank, the TO-55, or the pact thrower they call it. He's just really going to hold this position, I guess, which is not too bad. It's a 4, gives him 4 resources per second, and that'll allow him to really use this BRDMTU, just dip it into Mike every now and then and get more reinforcements whenever he has like a bunch of resources. So we're going to speed this again. Looks like he's moving. Oh, what's he doing with the command armor? I don't know why he's putting it here. I would just leave it right here. But then again, he could just luckily slide over it, I guess. But then, okay, he's moving it back. So, this TO-55 is out of oil, and it might go in the wrong place. Ooh. Okay, it's safe. So, he's setting up basically traditional flanks against what is kind of a cheese. I mean, it's not what I expect it to be. And it looks like the TO is gone, which are to flame all these units, and it was quite unsuccessful. This has caused, once over to a little bit of overreaction, he's moved his command out of the way. And we do have, oh, here's the non-overreaction. The gunships are taking some free shots at the starship, and he realizes he doesn't have any anti-air here right now. He has nothing here that can really deal with these gunships. Now, the reason why Komaromi is not being too aggressive with these is because he can't really scout here and see if there's any anti-air coming or what. And, you know, the mortar carrier not really going to help against those gunships. So he's moving back to a safe position. Here comes a BRDM, BRDM, and it puts in a whole bunch more units, looks like more Scots, and here comes some angry forces for it once over. Just pushing through, looks like they're trying to snipe at this BRDM, and here comes some helicopters to let's try and deal with these. Make sure they can't take this command armor. So he's moving forces here, trying to create another flank. Oh, I totally missed this battle. Looks like he tried to move his Marders in, and he got repelled quite easily, quite convincingly. Score is 985 to 892. Despite how it started, it's actually still pretty close. I mean, still one base versus one base. Komaromi has a slight advantage in that he gets 4 points. He has a slight disadvantage in that he doesn't really have much of a position. I mean, yeah, he has the middle, but I mean, it's a fort, and if he just artillery fires this with mortars, it's doomed, done. And I guess that's the idea with the mortar there. So we're gonna speed this up again. Oh, looks like these Scots, I think they're just gonna move in position, line themselves along the woods here. And this command armor really has nowhere to go now, because Once Over has correctly moved these units here just to kind of make sure that he can't do anything about it. So we do have some Marder roll-ins finally, some anti-air to deal with the helicopters, and really if you get to these helicopters, the game actually ends. So, you know, it's kind of interesting to note that it will be over pretty soon. One way or the other. So he has this anti-air units here. He's just trying to put him in position so he can try to snipe a helicopter. At this point he has to play catch up and he has to get every single point he can. So the Urals here, he's going to resupply this area, I guess. He's moving more and more units into this forest, just securing the forest, and really trying to get some lucky shots, I guess. So there's some T-62s, which are like really cheap, effective tanks, moving to position. War-wise, these are like World War II tanks with rockets on them. And so here's a big push. I'm not sure if this is really necessary. He's moving the Scot in. He's got the tanks hitting these infantry fighting vehicles here. The Scots are taking the woods. Over here we have some mortar carriers, which should be in the middle, not right here. And we have the Mi-24As counting. Where is his anti-air? Here's the Marder Rollins, and they're in range, yes. I don't think they're targeting the right thing. Oh, there they definitely are. So this shoots out the Mi-24As. The T-62s gotta push through. They gotta get this rolling down. Got to get the rolling down. If they get these mortars, this is huge. The score is still quite close. 1077 Once Over. He's eroding that 500-point lead he once had very quickly. The Scots are pushing in. Not the best move. He's deploying motor straggles as he's losing them, and that's over that. The Mi-24As are pushing in these starships here. His own brand of air units are coming in for a big push and getting pushed off by air units. These three T-62s are trying to move in. He's desperately trying to snipe a command. He really needs command right now, but there's no command to be seen anywhere. What did he do with the command? Oh, it's right here. If he gets that command, it's very well over. So, a somewhat successful push for Komaromi. He's got himself back in the game. He really just needs to get rid of this command and a couple of units and it's over. He's trading very effectively. He's brought down to 12 points. And the question is, will he get the command? Will he risk it? And it looks like the Marders will push off the Mi-24s. He's going too deep in. He's going to lose a 50-pointer. And his own Cobras are coming in for the attack. Unfortunately, this might be going too far for this. Oh no. Okay, there goes a Cobra. Look at the score. That Cobra was expensive. The Marders are going to knock this down, and that will end the game. So, thank you guys for watching another match. My name is Troublmaker, and I will have another match for you next week.